Now, there is no doubt that Facebook ads is one of the best places for you as a coach and a trainer to be able to start attracting in, converting and signing on new clients each and every week. But we literally hear from coaches and trainers every single week. We have new coaches joining into the cartel every single week that are running Facebook ads but are actually losing money. They're not making money from it and they're confused. So we hear it all the time, and this is why we actually want to give you this very, very in-depth guide. This actually goes along with a full article that this big boy right here has broken on down for you. So you're going to want to go through the full article. There's screenshots, there's absolutely blow by blow what you need to be able to do. But in this actual episode right now, what we're going to walk you through is the really important points for you to understand how to actually make Facebook ads work for your business.
All right, so let's talk about the two main pillars here. Why personal trainers should be using Facebook ads and why should they not? And who should not be using these?
Okay, let's start with the not piece, because this is where I feel like so many trainers and coaches are jumping into Facebook ads and they don't have everything else mapped out before. They don't actually have a process that is proven already to be able to take somebody from, hey, I just found out that you actually exist in this world and this is what you do, to signing on as a client of yours. Now, this is really important because you need to be able to have a very clear message of what it is you do and how you separate yourself from your competition. And you need to be able to build a relationship with people as well. And this is where we actually go through in this episode, where we break down the actual ads into 3 different phases, because this isn't about trying to go from putting an ad straight in front of somebody that doesn't know who you are and then just telling them, hey, join my online coaching program, because we see this all the time and it drives me absolutely bonkers because there's no way that's ever going to work. Yeah. So what you need to be able to do is stop being a douche and actually understand that we can come from it from a level of authenticity and just being cool about the whole thing and just saying, hey, let's walk people through a set of steps. So if you are a coach that you're clear about what it is that you do, you're getting results with your clients and you're ready to take a step up and actually start growing your business and have a flow to a flood of clients coming on board, then Facebook ads are going to be the time for you to step up.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if you place, yourself, let's take the situation of Facebook ads. If you're putting yourself, your ad in front of somebody who has no idea who you are, no idea what you do, imagine doing that on the street with somebody. You have no idea who this person is, and you see it all the time, buskers or whatever, come right up to you and be like, hey, buy my stuff, right? Your initial reaction is like, no, go away. Yeah. It's the exact same thing online. Yeah. So let's talk about actually how to set up your Facebook ad campaign.
How annoying is that bird? Sorry, I know you can hear that bird in the background. There's nothing we can do with it. Yeah. Okay, setting up the actual Facebook ad. So let's think about it in these 3 different phases right now. This is essentially where we have a Facebook funnel set up and how we're going to walk people through. So number 1, we need to get people that don't know you to know you. Now remember, you're only taking a person from one step to the next, just like the example that Josh just gave you. Let's just say you're out in a club, you don't just walk up to a person that you want, whether a man or a woman, you don't just go up and just say, hey, will you marry me? That doesn't work. You're trying to go from 0 to hero straight away. Yeah. No, you need to have a little bit of foreplay. You need to have a bit of relationship building as you go through this process. So you just want to go from, hey, you exist in this world and I like your stuff. That's all we're doing in phase 1. So we want to be able to get awareness. We want to be able to get people that don't know you to know you, and then we want to be able to start having them go, okay, I like what you're doing, and we can start building up the relationship right now. So the second step you want to be able to take them into is from being able to, yes, they know who you are, they like what you're going into, and now we're really starting to build a relationship. So now we're starting to think about how can we get them into our real funnel? How do we get them into a lead magnet? How do we get them into an opt-in? How do we get them into our Facebook group? How do we start getting them see the process that we can really start warming them up into that is going to then lead to the 3rd phase, which is conversions right now. So you want to be able to say, anybody that has seen your sales page, seen your sales offer, seen what it is that you really do and how you do it, then you want to give them an offer as a Facebook ad saying, this is my program, this is how you join, this is the special, this is the discount, this is when it's closing, all those different aspects that you really can come into this as well. So you can think about these 3 different phases. Number 1, how do you get people that don't know you to know you? How do you then get people that know who you are to start building a relationship? And then how do you get people that you've already built a relationship in and being able to get them signed on as a client of yours?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like in the example before, if you're buddies with somebody or they're in your web of influence, they're going to be way more receptive to what you're selling, or even anything that you want to do with them, right? So from there, talking about actually converting those clients, right? We have to actually address the issue of setting a realistic budget in terms of Facebook ads, because honestly, when it comes to Facebook ads, just throwing more money at it does not equal more money returned to you, or more clients, or more leads, or anything like that, right? And if you're paying a certain amount per lead and you're getting X amount of leads, if you don't know what that value per client is, right, when you've actually sold them compared to the amount of money you're actually spending on your Facebook ads, you don't know if you're actually making money at the end of the day or not. You could be, at the end of the day, spending just as much money on Facebook ads as you're selling into clients, right? So how do you go about that?
Okay, so this comes into the number that we call a lifetime customer value. So how much does a customer mean to you over the course of the lifetime of them being with you? Now, if you don't know this, then you really need to try and figure this out. You can get a good ballpark as to what's going on. So let's just say, for instance, you're doing an online coaching program, you're charging $300 per month, and let's say on average, a client stays on board with you for 10 months, let's say, for instance, okay? Some clients stay for longer, some stay for less, but we say 10 months is how long a client's going to be staying on board with you. So therefore, that customer is worth $3,000 to your business. So technically speaking, you could spend $2,999 on Facebook ads and inquiring that customer, and you'll still walk away with $1 profit. Now, obviously $1 profit is not fantastic, but you need to understand how much is it that you can spend. You need to start understanding the numbers to your business. Now, really breaking down the numbers to your business and where all those different factors are is completely beyond the scope of this episode alone. But you first just need to grasp the concept of how much is a customer worth to me, and how much can I spend to be able to get somebody coming on board. Because Facebook ads does break down. We can create conversions in the Facebook ad platform to know, okay, this ad brought in an opt-in for $12, for instance, okay, fantastic. Can I bring that down to $4 or whatever? And you can know your numbers and then be able to go from it. Now, this could be going way too ninja and above your head right now, and that's perfectly fine. Don't get too scared from it. But firstly, you just need to understand how much is an actual customer worth to your business.
Yeah, and the article that goes along with this video will dive into things a little bit more deeper, and it'll be a lot easier to understand. If this is way above your head right now, we'll cover it a little bit more in depth, a little bit more hand-holding in that article. So bear with us.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly right. And especially when it comes to actually creating the ads. Like, we can talk about creating the ads really simply into 3 different aspects. There's your campaigns, there's your ad sets, and then there's your ads right now. Now, in the article, it goes really deep. So please do click the link below and go through that, because you'll be an absolute peanut if you don't. But simply, ad campaigns is what is it that you want to be able to do in the ad. Do you want people to see your video? Is it you want people to click over to your website? Is it that you want a conversion, which means people go to an opt-in page and then they take the next step, or they go to your sales page and they buy, and you know what that is. The ad sets are all the different ads that you can run. So you can break this down into, okay, I want one ad to go to people that are in Australia, one to the US, one that could be males, one that could be females. This is where you can start breaking down the segmentation and the targeting of it. Yeah. And then you've got your actual ads. So you could have ads that are, maybe it's a video, maybe another ad is an image, maybe you're testing different headlines with the ads. So you can see how this can break down.
Whatever.
Totally, there's so many different things. And I don't actually recommend you go into like A/B split testing with all this stuff. Number one thing you need to understand right now with your ad, do people want your offer? Yeah. Straight up and simple. If you don't know, or if you are a bit, I'm not too sure, that people don't want your offer, then you need to change that. Because the biggest reason Facebook ads don't work isn't because all the technical stuff that the ad stuff. To tell you the truth, the Facebook algorithm is so smart, it'll probably make it work some way or another. Yeah. But if you have an actual offer that is good enough, people see it, they understand what it is, it's clear, and they're like, yes, I absolutely must have that, then you're going to be onto a winner.
And the only way that that's going to work is if you have your targeting down pat. If you've really gotten very specific in your targeting, exactly who these ads are going to be in front of, and exactly when they're going to be in front of these people. So break down some of the elements that people need to focus on when thinking about actually creating these ads with targeting in mind.
Okay, cool. So this is really important. When you're putting the ad together and you've got your interest targeting that you can go for. Now, most people think that like niches, target markets, all that kind of stuff, it's like, oh, I need a 25 to 35-year-old male that's earning between this income, that lives in this geographic location, to tell you the truth, that's not really needed, not the best way to go about it. Think about what does that person want, especially what's that person searching for and who are they following already. And this is where it's so good. Let's say, for instance, if your customers right now are really following, like, let's say it's a female audience, they're following like Ashley Bynes, Emily Skye, Kayla Itsigns, in those big people with followers. Then the thing is, then you can go, right, I want my ad to go in front of people that follow these people. Boom. And it's able to, the Facebook ad algorithm can do that really, really well.
You're basically poaching from,
you are at the end of the day. And this is why it's so brilliant. And this is why I can get so specific. And let's say if you're a face-to-face trainer right now, you can have your ad targeting set to the people just in a certain location. It could just be within, say, a 25-kilometer radius of your gym or where you're at. Or what we do is we focus on like the main big countries. You know what I mean? It could be United States, the UK, Canada, Australia that we might want to just break it on down into. But we can really say, okay, firstly, number one, who is your customer base following right now? Who are your competitors? And then once you get a really good insight into that, now there is quite a lengthy process to actually getting really deep down dive into that. And that's literally, we've done coaching videos straight through that. But if you can answer right now, who are the top 10 competitors and who are the top 10 people that your market's following, you're going to be able to have a really good head start in your interest targeting.
So with all that, we just covered, went through it real quick, and we have the article down below, but let's walk through step by step the actual process of creating your first ad.
Okay, let's go through an actual example right now of what it could be. So a lot of the time, especially when a coach is getting great results with their clients, we use what's called a case study funnel, where you actually use the result of a specific client of yours to do the heavy lifting for you and to do the showcasing as you as being the authority as well. So what you want to be able to do is, number one, we have a video at the top of the funnel. So we have a video that is essentially explaining and talking to the number one biggest pain point of your market. So answer these questions as I go through this. This is really simple. Number one, what's the biggest pain point that your market is having right now? Okay, you shoot a video that breaks down and gives tremendous, phenomenal amounts of value in that, and you walk them on through. You can have a call to action at the end of that video that says, hey, the next best steps after this could be go and download my cellulite weight loss program or whatever it is, depending on where your market's at right now. Then what you want to be able to have is on the second stage of your ads, you want to be able to have something that's driving to your lead magnet, to your conversion. So what you want to be able to do. This could be really simply, it could be a video, it could be an image. To tell you the truth, you might have to test out both, but simply you want to be able to have a really clear offer that is talking to the exact problem that you talked about in step number one. Don't go about, let's say if you're talking to a male population, don't go, I'm shooting a video about getting lean and my opt-in is about getting bigger arms.
Yeah.
Two different.
To be consistent throughout the entire process.
Exactly, it's got to be all the steps just talking to each other, and it's a natural conversation as you're taking them along what they need to be able to do. And then obviously in the third step, what you're going to be able to do is, okay, you've seen maybe my video series, you've seen maybe my sales page. So then I'm following up and saying, hey, there could be only 7 days left until my Get Big Arms program is wrapping up and we're starting. Do you know what I mean? If you don't get in this time, you're going to lose out, or you don't get the discounts, or you don't get the bonuses, or whatever it is. Exactly right. So you can see how you can start breaking this up into real nitty gritty. Now, obviously this depends completely upon what it is that you need to be doing. But again, think number one, how do I shoot a video that's going to be talking to the exact right pain point? And then secondly, how do I say create an image ad that talks to and has the copy, the status, the writing that is talking to how to get them to the next page? Because remember, in that ad, you're not trying to actually get them to opt in straight away. You want to take them to go to the next step. Yeah. That is your webinar opt-in page or your sales page or whatever it is. And then simply again, the ad to get them to buy, it could be maybe driving them to a Facebook Messenger. Okay, no, I've taken one step too far. We'll talk about that in the next step. You could be driving them back into the sales page to remind them about the offer that you're doing.
And this is much more effective than just running a single ad that just smacks people in the face with buy my stuff. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So if we have it's kind of a 3-step, 2-step process of warming people up, bringing them into your web of influence, and the conversion rate is going to be much higher.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let's think about 2 ninja tactics that we can jump into right now. So if you're kind of grasping everything that we've gone through so far, maybe if you even read the full article and you're jumping into this, what's something else that you can really be doing? And this is where we want to give you something that's like real time right now, what's working really well. Number 1, retargeting. So let's say, for instance, in the example we we're just using, you shot a 10-minute video and it talks to the number 1 pain point of your market right now. Now, you can get so specific in your Facebook ads where you can say, right, anybody that's watched 75% or more of the video, I want to be able to put a specific ad in front of it. So this works really well.
Yeah.
So you could do a top of funnel ad right now. And I know I just said rules like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, but we can bend and break some rules. That's what they're made for. But let's say, for example, somebody watches 75% of a 10-minute video that you're shooting at the top end of the funnel. Now, honestly, that proves to me that they're highly interested and engaged with what it is that you're doing. So I would say, right, anybody that's watched 75% or more of that video, I want them to see a sales video that's going to drive them straight into my online coaching program, because they've seen plenty of your content, they're highly engaged with it, and they're most likely ready to hot to trot. So it's in the natural conversation we can start to lead them on down the next path. Now, when it comes to targeting, you could say anybody that's hit specific pages on your website, they can have a certain ad go to them. Actual people that have engaged with your Facebook group now, you can have certain ads go to them. You could have people that say, look into certain areas of where your funnel is at. So you could say, okay, they've been to this video, but not this video. So therefore I want to drive them into here, so you can naturally progress them along. There's a lot of ways to go about it.
It's basically using logic and some principles of human psychology, because, and it's broken down so it's a little bit easier to understand. But if you have some basic understanding of human psychology and behavioral things, then, if it's a 10-minute video and somebody's watched 7 minutes of it, that's quite a long time, right? And so within that period of time, you know that they're at least a little bit interested in what you have to say, and they've been mulling it over for about 7 minutes. So therefore, logically, and just using some psychology principles, you can then send them something else, like the sales video or something like that. Or if they've, if you think about it, they've seen your coaching page several times. You can set up rules basically. Yeah. If you have a system of rules in place that then trigger your system to send them a sales page or something like that, and then all just becomes automatic, and it basically just comes down to human.
Psychology.
Yeah, psychology.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. Because the thing is, like this thing about, let's say a dude has just watched 7 minutes of your video talking about how to get bigger arms. And then suddenly later that day, he sees your sales page about getting a bigger arms program and it's on special. That's a very natural progression of a step for him to be able to be very interested in what that is. And this is how you start picking up that low-hanging fruit to get into it. Now, second ninja tactic that we want to jump into is Facebook Messenger. Now, I was literally just at a online event in Austin, USA that went only onto this stuff. So it was amazing, and there is so much to come with this. So this is literally scratching the surface of what's to come with this stuff, and it is working like gangbusters everywhere that we are using it right now.
It's pretty incredible, actually.
It totally is. So the thing is, what I like about it and why I think this is actually going to be a real winner is because it's creating more of a one-on-one conversation with you. Like, we're being able to have a conversation. If I want to come on board your online coaching program, there might be a couple of questions that I might be stuck at. I might be like, oh, is this right for me? Like, you've got to think about where the objections are at. And if I can directly contact you and you're able to give me a really easy answer to what it is for me that I need, then I'm on board straight away and it becomes a no-brainer. But also the thing is that the open rates and the click-through rates, say especially compared to email, is so much higher with Facebook Messenger, because when you get a Facebook message, you're much more likely to open that sucker, and you're much more likely to click from it, especially if you're talking directly to the language of what that person wants as well.
Yeah, it's very, very personal. And
totally.
like for me, this area of things is very, very exciting, because in my business, personally, I'd say almost half of my sales have been made over Facebook Messenger, just talking to people, because I'm very good at talking with people, interacting, getting to know them, and I like creating that personal rapport. And now with Facebook Messenger marketing, you can take the essence of that and automate it in a large way to basically talk to people.
Shit, sorry. Okay, there was one thing I didn't even write down for us to cover. Let's cover this as well, and this is actually really important. This is what they covered in the event that I was in Austin as well. So think about Facebook ad right now, okay, and damn it, we should have included this at the top. This is all good. Lucky you stayed here to the end. Now, the thing is, with Facebook ads right now, let's say your main competitor is Emily Sky, for instance, okay? I know Emily, she's absolutely fantastic. So let's say Emily Sky is a competitor. So the thing is, there's going to be all these different people trying to get on the people that follow them. So the thing is, when you go onto Facebook, there's only so many spaces that there can be Facebook ads, because otherwise you're just scrolling through ads the whole time. And from Facebook's point of view, they don't want that, because they want the best experience for everybody coming on board. So they know there's only a finite amount of ads that they can show to someone. And this is what's happening. Literally coming to now, like this year is when they're going to be running out of spaces. So all the spaces are going to be full, and because it's an auction platform, it means the prices for the ads are going to rise. And that means you're going to be paying so much more. So if you're not getting into it now, you're literally going to be left behind. You're going to be paying so much more, and you might not even be able to get into the platform, just like what's happened with Google ads. So Google pay-per-click, so many people just can't even make that work now because they've completely missed the boat. And it's the same thing that's going to happen with Facebook. So the thing is, if you're not creating your actual hub of followers right now, and Facebook Messenger and how you can create a Facebook Messenger list, so all the people that have engaged with you in your Facebook, your business Facebook page, you can start creating a list just like an email list. And it's actually just as important, I see, to be creating both of these lists. It's not either or, it's not one's dead and one's alive.
Email's not dead.
It's totally,
this
exactly.
is just a supercharger.
This is
two different
using
ways.
all the different weapons in our arsenal in what we're going to be able to do. So the thing is, if you're not creating your own hub and followers now, the problem is you're not going to be able to go and start searching for them off other people's platforms and competitors, because it's going to become too expensive for it. Now, this can go big and ranging, but this is really important, because this is something, when it clicked for me, when I just learned this, that I was like, oh my God, this is something that we have to absolutely dominate on right now, because this is really how you're going to create success in the long term.
And it's been pretty awesome to see how easy it is to implement if you do it the right way the first time, and just how personal the kind of sales experience can really be nowadays, whether from your sales funnel to your Facebook ads to Facebook Messenger marketing. Really, the more personal an experience you can create for a potential client or customer, the more likely they are to come on, because people buy people invest in people, not necessarily products. Right? So if they can feel like they are getting closer to you and interacting on a deeper level with you throughout the sales process, then they're going to be a much warmer lead.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, this has been phenomenal. Okay, so we've covered a lot right now. Do make sure that you go through the full article so you get the biggest bang for your buck. Now, in the next episode, we're going to be going through how do you actually scale a fitness business right now? How do you start earning 100,000 a year? How do you start earning multiple six figures per year and creating a business that actually runs without you having to be there all the time, every time? Because the thing is, if you're a face-to-face one-on-one trainer and you're stuck in a gym, you're in the time for money trap, I don't see it as a business. I see it as you actually being in a job, because if you walk away from the job, then you stop earning money. So it's not a business at the end of the day. So next episode, how do we actually scale your business? How do you start earning more? How do you create more freedom? How do you start impacting more people and actually understanding the 9 different parts to all of our fitness businesses, where if you have a missing kink in the chain, it's all going to start to fall apart. So we're going to walk you through all those 9 parts and how to start filling those gaps as well. Now, if you haven't actually gone through the 100K coach plan, I highly recommend you do. This is the recording that we just did with a big group of trainers and coaches, walking you through how to actually earn 100K per year and showing you in depth what steps it is that you need to be able to do, whether you're starting from scratch or whether you're an experienced trainer as well. So we'll pop a link below for you to be able to get access from that. And also, if you want to be able to work with us privately, you want to be able to join into the Coaches Cartel, firstly, you do have to qualify. We do have to make sure that you are the right fit. So you can apply by using the link below to be able to come on board, have a quick chat to see if it's the right fit for you, and for us to actually map out what it is that you need to be able to do as well. But as always, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.